What's up, guys?
On this week's show,
Bond. James Bond.
who are you going to call?
And that's just a trash can
All that and more on this episode
of One Giant Leap for Geeks.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for
Geeks. Welcome to another episode of OG LFG, where we talk about movies, video games, and all things in geek culture. I'm your host, Mike C. Squared. And with me is my co-host, DJ Melly Mel.
Hey!
Now, before we get started, I want to let you know, if you enjoy the show, tell some friends about us. Share us on your social media, whatever you choose to do. Just know that you're helping us let others know about the best damn podcast they probably never heard of. Now, if you want to talk to us, the show is on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. You can get a hold of our resident DJ Melly Mel at Froggy Beaver. Mel,
Yes?
what you been doing?
Counting down the days till Christmas vacation.
Nice.
So the way that my job works now is I actually get pretty big chunks of time off during the holidays.
Nice.
And I don't even have to request it off.
So, like, what are we talking?
So for Christmas, it's going to be 2 weeks.
Nice.
And all of that is paid.
Nice.
So,
That is sweet.
Kind of nice. Kind of nice. Don't even have to take it. For Thanksgiving, I got 3 days. So I got the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Nice.
So I had a total of 5 days because I don't work the weekends either. So kudos to that. Much anticipated. Other than that,
Now, when does it kick in? Like, when does your Christmas vacation start?
it's gonna be the 21st.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It'll be the Friday.
Okay.
So
you
like
get
the Friday before.
Okay. Nice.
And I think that day's a half day. So
nice.
I leave half day, and then we have
So you said the 24th?
21st.
21st. I'm sorry.
I think I did say the 24th, but I think it's 21st.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, Christmas Eve. I was like, oh, but no, yeah. So,
no,
so
I
you
think
get
it's
a few days
it's
before
the Friday before
Okay, Christmas, and then another week after.
Another 2 weeks.
Oh, damn.
So
That's
it's I don't go back until like the 5th or 6th.
Jeez, that's awesome.
Great.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous. No, I get
I don't even want to hear that because you are always on vacation.
No, I'm really not. No. It just seems like that because I've been taking so many in succession.
A week here, a week there.
Right, because it's been like the last like 3 or 4 months. It's been like I've been taking like a week off a month in the last few, so it feels like that. But I haven't taken off any time up until that point. Like the last time I took time off since September was back in January. So
yeah, you do kind of chunk it all.
Yeah, well, it always seems to end up working out that way because like staffing and stuff like that, and it's like it's hard for me to take off that much time.
Sure.
But yeah, and because they kind of
and the winter's your slow season.
Yeah, exactly.
Like after you hit that holiday rush, then you
exactly yeah because since I work
season.
retail, there's no need for me to, and plus too, if you're planning on taking a vacation, go somewhere when the season isn't the most optimal to go because it's cheaper.
True.
Because I mean, if we would have tried to go to Texas, in the middle of the summer, I would have paid a lot more, to fly, as opposed to going in January,
right?
Where it was like no one wanted to be going anywhere then,
right?
No, but I mean, as just for myself, this week I've been like in a life and death battle trying to make sure that I don't catch the flu from A-Train.
Yeah.
A-Train's mother has been sick. Her dad's sick. A couple other people I know have been, coming down with flu-like symptoms.
Glad that you said something. Now that we're here.
Right.
That Lysol.
Right. Like we were ending this episode early this week. No, I don't think I'm sick. I did feel a little like queasy yesterday, and like towards the end of my shift at work I started not feeling all that hot, and that night prior to that I had a really hard time sleeping, and I was like really sweaty throughout the night.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm fighting it off or what.
Maybe.
I feel okay today though.
Maybe.
Like I mean, I'm just tired.
I had one night last week where I woke up in a sweat.
Yeah.
But that was the extent of it.
Yeah,
and then yesterday I was like super exhausted. But
yeah, that's more so because A-Train, she was like physically ill, and mine's just been kind of a upset stomach a little bit, but I haven't really gone to the bathroom any more frequently than what I normally do. But yeah, it's just been tired.
Yeah,
just like
I can relate to that.
Sleepy and just kind of ugh.
Yep, that's how I was yesterday. I didn't even barely got on Facebook, other social media that I have.
I know you weren't feeling it if you weren't on Facebook.
No, I mean, I have a chat group that I'm usually pretty active in.
Sure.
And I wasn't feeling it at all yesterday. Like, I didn't want to deal with anybody. I fell asleep at like 5:36 when I got home from work yesterday. So,
yeah.
Thankfully, I'm feeling much, much better today.
Well, good. Good to hear.
And I'm glad that you're fighting it off
yes,
as well.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how I feel in the morning, at least. But as of right now, I feel pretty okay.
Get that orange juice.
Yeah, I know, right? But okay, moving on.
Master, if you'd have gotten that flu shot, you probably wouldn't be dealing with this.
Our main man, Mr. Bond, is back. And at least, I don't know, they say that this is the last one.
They've been saying
But they've been
it's
saying
the last
that
one.
for like the last like 3. So I don't... the studio, Sony don't want it to be the last one. Daniel Craig doesn't want to continue being Bond. And that's why we keep every like year or two, we get the whole argument back up like, oh... are we going to make Idris Elba James Bond? Like,
no.
I would love it for it to happen. I don't think.
Oh, I would too. But no studio is going to let that happen.
No, hell no. I mean, they got kind of close to it because there was rumors for a bit that the woman that's in this, that she was going to be, the new Bond. Now she is a 00 in the movie, but she's not going to be the new Bond. It's the black woman that's like talking about shooting him in his
right.
I didn't catch the actress's name, but. I was going to say, I'm like, I feel like people are going to throw a fit no matter what you do, changing Bond in any kind of way, because when they first, and I just think they just need time to let the change grow on them, because when they first made Daniel Craig, or when they first announced he was going to be Bond, the hardcore fans were mad because they're like, oh, Bond's not blonde. Bond, has this eye color and he's this height and this build and yada, yada, yada. And in the books they say, and I'm like, man, it don't have to be exactly like...
Right.
Like you don't hear people complaining that the actor who plays Barry Allen on the Flash show, like, oh, he's not a redhead. Well, he's a brunette. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's fine. Like, no one gives a shit. Like, if fucking... Unless it's something that is, like, directly connected to what makes the character special, then I don't think it matters like what their physical appearance is per se, like unless they're just so far removed.
I mean, if you had like an Asian dude playing, I don't know, what's something
Superman.
Captain America or Superman or
sure,
something,
sure.
yeah, I mean that would probably cause an uproar.
Sure.
Not that it should matter, but
no. Captain America might be a little bit weird just because of the time period that it takes place in. Like, if it was like a modern day Cap, sure. But at that time, yeah, if it would have been
50s,
anything
60s
other a white
Cap,
dude, yeah, it would have been kind of weird.
But I mean, it still shouldn't matter. However,
no, I know what you mean, though, yeah.
If we had, anybody other than a tall white dude playing Captain America, somebody'd have some problems with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm over this whole, you don't fit this idea of somebody that we have in a comic book, so...
You don't look the way that I think you should look.
Right. I'm like, who the fuck...
Yeah,
who are you to decide?
But at the same time, though, we are the same people who complained about the way Sonic looked. Now we
That's
can't.
because Sonic looked like garbage.
I was
okay?
gonna say now we can't be hypocrites.
Sonic
now.
didn't even look like the video game.
No, he that was just an abomination. I don't know what the fuck.
So that's not even in the same comparison.
But to be fair to them, though, I mean, I saw what they were going for. Like, I can look at that and be like, yes, I know that that's supposed to be Sonic.
Sure.
But it was in that weird, uncanny valley, and he just looked creepy, and the teeth were weird, and the way his eyes were, it was just all of it was just bad.
Yeah.
There are some things about this, though, that kind of make me hesitant about it, because one of the things that I did like about, since they've revamped the Bond series with Daniel Craig, is that they've been kind of keeping a overarching continuity between his movies. So, like, each one is kind of connected to the last one. It's not like the older Bond movies where it was just like, hey, it was just like Freak of the Week and shit. So, like, each movie was just kind of its own standalone little story.
I'll take your word for it, because the last Bond that I think I watched was Die Another Day with Pierce Brosnan.
Right. But for example, like, you know, GoldenEye and Die Another Day don't really have much of anything to do with each other.
No, if you look back at, like, Sean Connery Bonds.
Right,
and
stuff like
the Roger
that.
Moore Bonds,
and stuff,
and then you go to the Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. Now, every now and then,
Bonds.
sure, maybe they might bring a villain back from another movie, you know, and they have those two be connected. But it wasn't like each successive movie was like, oh, and then this happened, and then this happened.
Right. It's not.
It was just
like
kind of like standalone little stories.
A succession story.
Yes, exactly. So with this, I liked how they were all kind of connected to each other, but the problem is I haven't seen the last couple.
Okay.
So they're making references to stuff in this from the last, like, two movies, and I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
like,
me neither.
I know that the villain in the last one was Blofeld or whatever, and it was Christoph Waltz, but I don't know how the movie played out. So the whole shit with the girl, and she's like, oh, why would I betray you? And he's like, oh, you know, something about secrets and all this shit. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But so that to me as a viewer, it kind of, I'm not invested in it as much because I'm like, well, I don't know who that chick is. I don't know what they're fighting about. Like, you know, they kind of give you flashes like, oh, you know, you gave up everything for her, James, and this and the other. And I'm like, I still don't know. What did he give up? What happened? Did they have a fall? Was she cheating on him? Like, was she cucking him or some shit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what went down. But as far as like the action stuff, it, you know, like there's a scene where James is on the motorcycle and he like goes up the stairs. That was really cool.
I like the car scene.
Yeah, everybody loves the car scene with the little Gatling guns coming out the headlights. That was dope. That was really dope. He's just doing donuts.
I just like his face because he's sitting in this car and they're shooting up his car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like got this look on his face like, dude, I'm James Bond, really?
Right. He's like, they don't even know. I'm finna fuck all this shit up. He said, hold on, baby. Let me.
And he just starts doing donuts.
Right. Let me push this button right here and show these motherfuckers I ain't bullshitting out here. One of the things, though, that I would say is probably a strength and a weakness of these movies is that they do go out of their way to find, you know, different actors that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be in a movie like this. Like, you know, they had Javier Bardem as the villain in one of them, and then they got Rami Malek now in this one, and it's like, sure, you know, yeah, it sounds in theory like in an elevator pitch. Yeah, it sounds cool to be like, you know, James Bond versus Freddie Mercury and shit. Like, you know, like sure. But then, like, as I'm watching it, you know, he's supposed to be like, because, like, you hear Rami Malek's character's voiceover and he's like, oh, James Bond, License to Kill and History of Violence. And he's like, oh, you know, I could be looking in a mirror or some shit. So they're trying to, like, insinuate that he's also some kind of secret agent person gone rogue or some shit. And I'm just like, Rami Malek and fucking Daniel Craig ain't even in the same fucking universe of, like, comparison. Like, oh, we both are killers and we be whooping ass and fucking bitches and globetrotting and shit. And I'm like, no.
I can't see Rami Malek doing any of that.
If he threw
Not
a punch, he'd dislocate his shoulder. I was like, no. Like, stop. Like, So when they present him as a villain like that, because I thought, okay, they were going to make him more of like a intellectual kind of villain.
Sure.
Like
now that I can see.
A mad scientist or like some rich kind of, you know, pulling the strings behind the scenes type shit. But them like giving him a gun and all this shit. I'm just like, and then he's wearing like a weird like Phantom of the Opera mask or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
I mean, because I guess his face is burnt. I don't fucking know.
It still is weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never really been invested in any James Bond movie.
Sure.
I mean,
we're casuals.
Yeah,
at best.
Every once in a while, if there looks like a good cast, sure.
Right.
But I mean, I haven't followed them all. I don't give a shit.
No, by no means, no.
I don't give a shit. I'm sorry.
And that's fair. No, and that's totally fair because I'm kind of in the same boat. It's like I don't dislike the character or the movies.
Yeah,
right. But it's just like I'll watch it, sure. But
right.
do I get excited when the next one comes out?
No.
Now, A-Train, her father, he actually really loves James Bond,
Okay.
and so he gets excited, for these movies and
Sure.
stuff. But no, he's definitely got more invested in it than I ever will. Not to say that they're bad. I'm just, it's just not really my thing.
Right.
But I will say, as always, like, all the Bond movies are, but especially I feel these, since the Daniel Craig era, like, all these movies look really well. They're shot really well.
Yeah.
Like, the locations are just beautifully lit, and, everything just looks really, really good and crisp. Like, there's a scene where he's, like, in a club or some shit, and there's all these, like, lights and stuff, and it just looks, like, really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of reminded me of John Wick in a couple shots, too,
Little
actually.
bit.
But, I don't know. I mean, if I thought that they genuinely would give Idris Elba a chance in the next Bond movie, I'd be excited to see where they're going after this, because this is supposed to be his last one. But I don't think that's going to happen. So it's like I don't really have anything invested in seeing where this goes after this. Because I'm like, after Daniel Craig, it's like, well, who you going to get? Who's British? Because it's got to be somebody British. So who we going to make the next
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, my God.
It's James Bond.
Yeah. Now give it to Tom Holland. Fuck it. Let him do it. We start him off young. Shit. And in that way, you can have him for the next, 20 movies and shit.
Sure.
I said, no. Marvel said. Yeah, because in that way, Sony would get off his ass about being Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He can be Bond, and then he can still be Spider-Man for Marvel, and everybody's happy. See? It's a win-win across the board.
Sounds good. There we go.
All right. Moving on.
The battle you've all been waiting for. In this episode of Celebrity Deathmatch, it's Freddie Mercury versus James Bond.
I am disappointed in the internet. I feel like I'm always disappointed in the internet, but I'm especially disappointed because people were saying that they thought that the song that was in this trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 was like her new theme song.
Oh, no.
I know. Because you remember where her theme that...
Yeah.
Okay, so... But then they heard this, and they're like, oh, that new theme. It's like, synthesized 80s sound, and I'm like, yeah, because it's a
80s
actual 80s song.
movie.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's I forget the name of the band, but it's a song like "Tell Me How Does It Feel to Treat Me Like You Do." Like, that's not Wonder Woman's new theme. It's just the song in the trailer that's from the 80s.
Because the movie's set
in the 80s. Right. 2 years actually before I was born. So
you old man.
I know. I was gonna say I've literally aged myself.
2 years before you were born.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this movie would have took place 35 years ago.
Okay. Well, that puts it 7 years before I was born.
Mm-hmm.
I think. 5. The movie is set.
When were you born?
91.
Okay, then
My math is way off. Fuck.
Yeah. You were right the first time.
Yeah, 7.
Yes.
It's been a long day.
Mm-hmm. But no, I'm gonna say the obvious. The movie, or at least the trailer, feels a lot like Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Like the whole
it
time I was
does.
watching it, like from the music down to the colors and how it's shot.
Yep.
And like the pacing and everything with like the jokes sprinkled in, I'm like, man, this feels a lot like Thor Ragnarok, like a lot. And
I mean, they had to model it off of something.
true, but see, and that's kind of what my problem is because I felt like the first Wonder Woman movie felt a lot like Captain America: The First Avenger,
Right?
like it's just set in World War One instead of World War Two, and I'm like, man, like I just hope that they're not. And it gave me vibes of Aquaman and stuff like that too as well. But
Not as much.
no, but it felt a lot like the Ragnarok, like too much to be honest. We both said though, because we watched it again right before we started recording, and we both agreed that like all the action scenes looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really colorful, and especially like there's like certain scenes where and it reminded me a lot of the scene from X-Men 2 when Nightcrawler is like going to get the president and he's like fighting all the Secret Service agents or whatever, which it looks like she is fighting in the White House as well or something similar to it. But there's a shot where she grabs the guy's gun and she unloads the bullet and then she slaps it with her bracelet and shit.
I know, that was dope.
And I was like, that was really cool. She probably killed somebody, but it was still cool.
No, she threw it into a wall. It's okay.
Oh, sure, totally. And then there's the big money shot towards the end where she's like riding the lightning with the fucking lasso.
That was awesome.
It does make absolutely no sense at all, but it's cool looking.
I mean, I guess.
And can she do that? Have you ever seen Wonder Woman do that?
No, I've never seen her do that.
Okay.
No, it doesn't make sense here. But for her to be the daughter of Zeus, or somehow connected to Zeus in the way that she is.
Sure.
It's cool, like, as an after, like, oh yeah, she's brought to life by Zeus, and then she's riding on the lightning, and Zeus controls the lightning, so that is kind of how I took that, and that was pretty awesome. And also the golden costume that we get at the end.
Yeah, it looks better in motion, because remember when they put out that poster and she was in that shit, and we were dogging on it because it looked bad,
it did
man.
look bad.
I'm like, that whole everything, the way that poster was against that suit, just all of it just looked bad. But in the movie itself, it looked a lot better. And it has wings, too, which was cool. And I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. I'm like, she's got kind of a... what's the story about the guy who flies? He makes the wings, but he flies too close to the sun and they catch on fire. I forget. It's like that Greek story. Whatever.
Hermes?
Yes. Hermes. I think you're right. Yes. It gave me vibes of that with the wings and shit like that, kind of like the Greek gods.
Sure,
and, it's leaning more into her whole like Amazonian shit. And all that, and I'm like, that's cool.
I mean, I appreciated that, but I like Greek mythology. So.
Right. As do I. I love like the God of War games for every reason.
Yep. I would sit and watch T-Money play them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have any desire to play them because I'm so out of touch with playing video games.
Sure.
But I do. I think I've watched them sit and play.
Mm-hmm.
All like I like the story progression. I like the way that it goes. So.
Yeah. No, I do. I'm not really feeling the villains. That's my biggest worry. Like, I don't like this fucking weird blonde wig that they got on Pedro Pascal.
No, it makes him look
DJ
like Nathan
Melly.
Fillion.
Yeah. I thought he looked like Nathan Fillion in one shot. Like, I don't like what they're doing with him. Like, I don't find him intimidating as a villain. Kristen Wiig's Cheetah doesn't look very interesting. She just looks like a stage 5 clinger. I
don't particularly care for Kristen Wiig anyways.
Yeah.
But Pedro Pascal in this movie, he does look very 80s, but he looks like he stepped off the scene of Miami Vice. Not necessarily the villain for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, he looks like a caricature of somebody from the 80s. Like what you would make fun of somebody from the 80s of being like. I don't know what his performance is going to be like, because right now I'm watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, and he's the main character in that.
Okay.
And now he never takes his helmet off, but so you only hear his voice the whole time.
Sure.
But kind of like a Judge Dredd kind of thing.
Okay.
But he's really good in that, and I've never watched Game of Thrones, but from what I hear, he was in that, and he was good in that as well.
Oh, okay.
But
I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
either.
it's like I do like him as an actor, so I mean I hope that the movie will do him more justice than what this trailer is, because as of right now, it's not. No. The jokes were pretty funny though, like the little trash can joke was funny.
That was cute.
She's like, "Oh, it's all art." And he's like, "Oh yes," and he's like walking up and looking at it and shit. And she's like, "That's just the trash can." He's like, "Right, just trash can. Got it." I don't like the fact that they brought Chris Pine back though.
I kind of knew that they were going to.
Oh yeah, I knew from like set photos and casting news and all that kind of stuff.
Just from the end of the other Wonder Woman movie, but it feels like the first Wonder Woman movie was kind of set more modern, whereas this one is set in the 80s. So I'm not sure how that's supposed to work, but.
Well, the first one, she was like flashing back to like World War One, and how she came off. Well,
I know that, but I mean, just as far as why are we going to have one set in the modern time and then one set back 30 odd years?
I don't know. I guess they're kind of doing what the X-Men reboots did, where it's like we're going to go through each decade, like we're going to do the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and shit. And it's like, in kind of sort of what Captain Marvel did too, because that takes place in the 90s. Though I don't think her subsequent movies are going to take place back in time. It's going to be like modern, going forward. But
it made sense for hers to start in the 90s, though, just like it made sense for Cap's to start in the 50s.
Yeah.
And, Iron Man started in the 2000s, but he does a lot of flashback.
Right.
And that's mostly, them creating the backstory and interweaving them.
Yeah.
So, whereas this is, like I said, the previous Wonder Woman felt like it was today's time. And why would you need a movie that's set 30 years ago?
Exactly.
Or, 37 years ago or whatever.
I don't. You
see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, no. I know what you mean. And plus, too, I don't understand what. I just feel like they're kind of just making the first movie over again.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand like why they wouldn't because they could have went in a very, very different direction with the sequel would be, especially because the first movie was so successful. Like you could have literally did anything you wanted to do with this.
Right.
And all they're basically doing is remaking the last movie again. Because now instead of Wonder Woman being a fish out of water and not knowing anything about man's world, now Chris Pine's character is the fish out of water, with him being in the 80s now because he's in the future, and he's like, oh, he doesn't know anything about pagers and phones and all this kind of stuff. So it's like he's like
it's kind of
what
like
is
he's
this?
Cap
what is a TV?
again.
Yeah. It's like he's the Captain America of this duo and stuff. It's like he's ignorant to all the modern day technology and how things work.
Right, like he's been frozen somewhere.
Exactly.
And I
just feel like,
think that that's what they're going towards.
I don't know. Like, however they explain him coming back, I don't like it because I feel like it kind of cheapens his death in the last movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, if you're going to just bring him right back in the very next movie, then it's like, well, that whole power, the power of that moment is kind of taken away because it's like, well, all you did was just bring him right back.
Right.
Kind of like how Batman versus Superman, it cheapens Superman's death because you literally bring him back in the Justice League the very next movie. Right. It's like not even like a year passed and he was right back on screen again. So it was like, well, why did you make such a big deal about the death of Superman if you were going to bring him right back? At least in the comics, when they killed Superman, it was a while before he showed up again.
I think it was supposed to be a while, but it was
not what they were doing with that shit.
Because Warner Brothers is not as developed.
No. Well, that's why they should have mirrored. If they were going to mimic anything from Marvel's model, it should have been their team-up movies should have been event movies.
Oh, yeah.
So you have your standalone movies, and you build up to that. So when Batman versus Superman happened, there should have been like a solo Superman movie, solo Wonder Woman, solo Aquaman. Then you build up to Justice League. Yeah. And then you go from there.
I think so, too.
But yeah, like the way they're doing it now, it's not. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it doesn't look bad. There are things about it that I did think were cool looking. I don't know. I'm not really feeling what they're deciding to do as far as plot with it.
Yeah, I don't quite get it, but I mean, I'm excited for it because I've been, hyping up this Wonder Woman return for a while now.
Right. Well, shit, that's the only good thing they had going for them until Aquaman came out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
2 out of 6, that's not good odds.
I know, right?
I mean...
No, it just ain't.
Even the Man of Steel movie was lackluster.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I was just...
I don't hate Man of Steel, but no, it's not the greatest, though.
Well, I mean...
I know it has problems.
It was definitely lackluster,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
And that came out way before all of the others.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see.
Yeah.
When this comes out June 5th, I believe.
Yeah.
So, summer movie.
Mm-hmm.
At least they got the timing right.
Right. If nothing else. All right. Moving on.
The biggest question I have after watching this trailer is, what is Chris Pine carrying in that fanny pack?
It's that time again for America's #1 show, Dumb Shit of the Week. That's right, Dumb Shit of the Week is the show where DJ Melly Mel finds dumb shit and we talk about it. Want your submission on the show? Find us on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geek, so you can email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. Now here's your host, DJ Melly Mel.
Thank you. All right, so with the end of 2019 fastly approaching,
I know, right?
I can't believe that it's December. Like, we're 14 days away from Christmas or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently somebody thinks that we need to go back to 2005.
The golden year
well,
of 2005.
Gold and diamond, actually.
Okay.
The newest trend of this week, and we're going to finish 2019 out with teeth gems.
Oh, we bringing grills back, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, they coming back. Thanks, Jared Leto.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but grills are teeth overlays, correct?
Yes.
It's like a metal piece, and it's got the rhinestones and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the next level grills.
They're putting actual jewels.
Tooth gems are the neatest trend, lasting up to 6 months. Oh, from 6 months up to a year. People are installing gems and diamonds onto their actual tooth.
Oh, so it's like an adhesive or something?
Yeah, from what I understand, they're like...
Because I was like, are they drilling this shit into their teeth?
Almost.
God
They're
damn.
like using this super adhesive thing.
Oh my god.
And they're getting Playboy Bunny logos and diamond assortments.
I don't get it, man. I really don't. Okay, so where is this like, does it say like where is this popular at?
It
Like, are people doing
started
this
on TikTok. Yep.
Yep, I knew it. I was gonna say on TikTok. Yep.
Somebody was having a massive like flashback, I don't know what you would call it, rewatch party, and
Sure.
they had a bunch of throwback music from mid 2000s when grills were popular. And they were like,
"You grill, you grill."
They're like, "Okay,
Smile for me, Daddy."
well, let's see how close we can get to this." So they started to find these gems that you can glue in like this braces glue, and voila, tooth gems.
I thought we were past this. I really did. I'm like, I remember when grills were like popping,
do too.
and it was so stupid.
It looked retarded.
It was so dumb.
And
was so
I
dumb.
remember when that song come out,
Yeah.
and I can still sing every word of it.
Yeah.
But that is not the point.
I was gonna say, so can we all start rocking Air Force Ones again? We all gonna get grills. We all gonna start wearing wife beaters again.
Yep, get the Band-Aid under your eye.
Yep. We're gonna cut little slits in our eyebrows. What else are we bringing back? Fubu's coming back, bitches.
Jenko jeans.
Right.
See, the ladies, they gotta have the dark line around their lips with the light lip gloss or the light.
Yep, we're bringing back
lipstick.
Sean John.
Yep,
Diddy's coming back.
I did see how somebody brought back the all velour jumpsuits.
Oh shit! Yep, Rims is coming back, bitch. We got all velour jumpsuits.
Somebody go dig
grills.
up Exhibit because we need another Pimp My
Ride's
Ride.
coming back. Yep. Cribs is coming back. Hell yeah, shit. We finna start watching fucking Punk'd again. That's back. Which actually, the kid from Stranger Things has like a Punk'd type show on Netflix. Apparently,
okay.
It's called like Pranked or some such bullshit.
It doesn't quite have the same ring to it.
I was like, get the fuck.
I'm gonna say
out
I don't
here.
think they can get Ashton back because last I heard he's like a lawyer or something.
No, I don't know.
He's doing something with the courts.
Yeah, something about like
for,
sex trafficking or something like that.
Sex trafficking people. But I mean,
but
like,
he does do the ranch though on Netflix.
Yep,
he does
do
have
that.
Show.
So we're gonna.
That's the thing. What I'm still trying to come on. What else can we bring back from the early 2000s?
Oh well, we gotta have the ramen noodle hair.
Oh yep. Okay. Wow. What else?
What
else was popular then?
The Tamagotchis. Oh, that was kind of 90s.
Yeah. I was gonna say. Yeah.
Oh, we gotta have the chain belts for the booty shorts.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Thongs are popular again.
I would say girls dancing in the neon bikinis.
Yep.
On the beach.
Yep.
That's gonna be a thing. We got Bad Boys coming back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, we might as well.
Damn, I know. Oh god, yep. We bring back Bad Boys. Yeah. I guess that was really it.
The bikini top with the jeans.
Right, I would say anything associated with Nelly or like Southern rappers, all that shit was popular in 2000s. Boy bands, we bring those back.
Yep. Bring her back the boy bands.
Hell yeah, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, like get ready, like the streets is calling again. I don't miss the 2000s.
Give me that Nintendo 64.
I don't. I'd rather go back to the 90s, man. At least in the 90s, everything was like extreme and all that shit. Like at least it was just goofy fun. Like the 2000s were just whack. I'm like, it was just so corny. It's like I look back at it and it's like, why do we think that shit was cool?
Dogs in purses.
Oh my god. Ugh.
I'm with you. I mean,
White Chicks. Oh, remember that movie? You actually like that movie, don't you? Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm pretty sure you've talked about how you like that movie. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Wayans brothers, bring them back.
Yeah, just in general.
Anything with the Wayans brothers.
Anything, the Wayans family. It's like 30 of them motherfuckers.
Yep.
Like anything involving them.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
music was so bad.
So who was the artist? or the artist, the TikToker?
It wasn't credited, unfortunately.
What do they call TikTok creators?
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even have TikTok.
TikTokers.
So
that's what we're finna call them.
That's what we're gonna call them.
Like YouTuber,
copyright by One Giant Leap
Twitch
for
streamer,
Geeks.
TikToker, right?
Well, are the Twitch
Instagrammer.
streamers called Twitch streamers, or are they called Twitchers?
I would never call myself Twitcher, so I'm gonna say a Twitch streamer.
I don't stream, so yeah.
It just sounds weird.
Yeah, so this is the new thing popping up in.
It's like you got a tick. You're like, I'm a Twitcher,
and you know it's crazy that all of this stuff is like, I don't want to say coming back, but you know, when we were younger, we had. What was that thing where they like twisted your arm and made the red mark?
Indian burns?
Yeah. You had like that, and then you had the stupid challenges that our generation did. So now we have a whole new wave of stupid generation thinking that they're discovering something new, and they're like, "Oh my god, this and this," and I'm like, "No, go read a book or something."
I mean, I guess it makes sense though too, because we've already gone through the phase of we're bringing shit from the 90s back, so now I guess we're to the 2000s. It only makes sense.
We're at the point where the 2000s are now retro, Mike.
Yeah, it's 20 years, so yeah.
Fuck.
I know. I don't know.
How do we keep making this progression?
We're not dead.
I didn't mean literally.
I mean,
meant,
we're
like,
still alive.
As
so
a society,
yeah.
how do we?
It just because you run out of new shit and then you go back
and
and
cycling back
yeah,
through.
you can only do so much new stuff until you got to go back into the bucket and start bringing out the old stuff, and then you make it new again because it's new for the next generation.
Yeah, but
it's new
those
to them.
for those of us in the old generation, we're just like, why?
Right, like it's still as whack as it was back then. So
Right.
like, they gonna learn.
Yeah.
And then they kids gonna rediscover it and it's gonna still be whack.
I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, I don't recommend getting these gems things. If you want to Google basically what they will look like, Google any kind of rap star in the mid 2000s, early 2000s.
No. Just look at Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
That is a grill. That is about what you finna get.
But
this is a little bit different from at least the way you're describing it. They're just like gluing things to their teeth.
Yeah,
and they don't have,
I guess they have some kind of adhesive, and so that makes it worse. At least a grill you could take out and interchange.
Right.
If you're gonna glue a Playboy bunny to your fucking tooth, then that's another thing. Who even draws Playboy bunnies anymore? That's another mid 2000s thing. Like, we were all
when girls used to get that little tan
we
line
were all
of the
obsessed
Playboy
with the
bunny
damn
and
Playboy
shit.
bunny.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And now
I went to high school with a kid who wore a black wife beater with a Playboy bunny on it to like homecoming or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even let him in.
My sister-in-law has a Playboy bunny tattooed on her hand, and it's clearly done amateurly. And so it takes up like her whole, this whole chunk of her hand. And her son is, 14, 15, probably 13 or 14. Mm-hmm. And he looked at her hand a couple years back, and he's like, "Mom, why do you have the Angry Bird on your hand?"
Damn.
So she's been talking about how she's got to get it covered up because it looks bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say if you can find a good cover-up artist, though, I've seen them transform some bad tattoos into some really cool stuff.
Oh yeah. It could be done. However,
it's gonna
be a
expensive.
bitch because it takes, like I said, it takes up most of her top of her hand, and so it like starts over by her thumb, and then it kind of goes out across by her fingers, and then back around. So it's just rough.
Nope.
But I mean, whatever. It's her tattoo, not mine.
You do you, boo.
Yeah, I know several people with tattoo of the Playboy bunny, so it's not ever anything I could get into.
Sure.
Probably for good reason, because when it was out and popular, I was too young for Playboy, and now that I'm older, I'm just like,
you don't
yeah,
care.
no, I'm
like I don't give a shit.
Nobody cares. So, I guess if you're going to get these gems glued onto your teeth, might I suggest something mildly appropriate for the subject? But, I mean, again, if you're getting gems glued to your teeth, then rock out with your Lil Jon self.
Right, I was going to say, I'm like, hopefully you're self-employed because you going to have a hard time going to job interviews with that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. If Lil Jon wasn't a rap star or Nelly wasn't a rap star, I don't think that either one of them would have jobs.
No.
At least not legitimate ones.
No.
That's all I got, though. If you want to be a part of my dumb shit process, you are more than welcome. We do take submissions via Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks, or you can send it directly to myself. I am at Froggy Beaver. If you would like to email it to us, officialoglfg@gmail.com. That's where it's at. All I can say is stay smart, kids, and make better decisions.
Let me see your grill, ya grill.
We finally got a straight up actual trailer for the new Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Last time they showed us anything, it was basically the
all we saw was
Ecto
the car.
One, in a barn and shit, and like the tarp blows up, and like you see the little Ghostbusters logo, and it just like that was it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh wow, that's literally all they're showing us. Okay,
anticlimactic. There.
Right. So now we actually got an actual straight up teaser trailer for the movie, and
is it a teaser trailer or is it a trailer?
I would say it's long enough to where I would call it a trailer, but they would probably still call it a teaser at this point.
Okay.
Because I mean, we are not calling that last thing a fucking teaser. That was literally nothing, like nothing. You didn't even see a person on the screen. It was just
you saw
the car.
a green Slimer in a car.
Right. I'm like, fuck that noise. No. But I'm actually really excited to see them do something different. Like, they've remade the first Ghostbusters twice already. Ghostbusters 2 is basically Ghostbusters 1 again.
Yes.
And the 2016 Ghostbusters is basically...
talk about that monstrosity.
Yeah, I mean, they swap out the characters and stuff, but it's still basically the first Ghostbusters again.
Right.
So I'm glad to see them doing something different with this one.
Yeah, where they're actually progressing the story.
Yeah, and not ignoring what came before. Like,
right.
I like the fact that this is set 30 years, after the original movies, and all the events that happened in the first two movies actually happened in this world, and it's not like, oh, we're just gonna act like this is just a whole new team. Like, it would be disrespectful to pretend like the original movies didn't happen.
Sure, I agree.
But
it's kind of cool that we have a link to the previous team as well.
Yes.
I mean, it's not, it's not explicit. Hey, this is so and so. But I mean, you can pick up the kids like, hey, this is my grandpa. And
right.
Then
Egon's granddaughter and all that kind of stuff.
And you see the car, and you see the suits, and you see the this and the that, and so I mean, it's kind of cool.
I think I'm pretty sure we saw Slimer in the trailer too.
We did. Because that's what the kids are chasing.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because he goes by so fast. I'm like, I think that was Slimer, but I wasn't 100% sure. I can see people making the argument that it does feel kind of like, there is a Stranger Things vibe there. Like I totally get that. Like, I can't.
Is there?
Pretend.
I've never actually seen Stranger Things. So
yeah. It feels like Stranger Things or It or something like that. Because it's like the kids and the monsters and they're chasing ghosts and all this kind of stuff. So if it does remind me of It and or Stranger Things. I mean, hell, all the way down to, Finn Wolfhard is in It and Stranger Things, and now he's in this as well.
That is the same kid.
Yeah, so he's...
I thought it was.
Yeah, so he's in all three of these things, so I mean, it's hard to see him and not think of that.
Man, that kid's making bank.
I know, I was gonna say, I'm like, man, he gets around, shit. But,
his mama must got him a real good agent.
Yeah, I know, I was gonna say, I'm like, man, his agency is doing work for that kid. But I just off like the visuals alone were enough to make me go like, okay, this feels refreshing and like something new. Like seeing the Ecto One like do fucking drifts in like a cornfield, I was like, that was cool, because it was like, whenever I see that car or whenever I even think about Ghostbusters, it's hard to not immediately think of New York,
right?
Because they're so attached to the place as well. Like
I'll say it even still had the original New York plates.
Exactly. Like, New York is almost a character in itself in the movies. Hell,
one.
Yeah, it comes to life. Yeah, the whole fucking city does. So it's like, the city always felt like a character to itself. So it's hard to not think of Ghostbusters and not think of New York. So to see the Ecto One in this little small town out in this random cornfield and shit, it's like, it's so far removed, but at the same time so familiar that it was like, it felt refreshing to see it like that. I was like, okay. I'm like, now I see what they're trying to do here. I'm like, they're not just going to remake the first movie again, but at the same time, they're taking elements that we're familiar with and putting them in a different context and contextualizing
kind of like they did with the Jurassic Park.
A little bit, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Like, I mean, we had elements from the original Jurassic Park, but at the same time, it was new. It was different.
Yeah,
And
Fallen Kingdom shit the bed at the end, but
Well,
I can respect that they were trying to do something different.
yeah,
You know, like making it into almost like a horror movie and like a haunted house kind of thing towards the end. It didn't play out right, and it was dumb in its execution, but the idea was cool.
Jurassic World,
Yeah,
in of itself,
yeah,
was pretty cool.
Yeah. With this though, we talked about this off mic, but you know, and I had been conversing and seeing some other people talking about it in the comments, but they're not going to show the OG cast just yet.
Not yet.
Like, this is going to be like, the advertising for this will be just like what Marvel did with Civil War.
Yep.
Everybody knew Spider-Man was going to be in Civil War, but they didn't show you him right away.
Like the fourth trailer.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't at least until the second trailer, at bare minimum. Like, the very first look, though, we got was focusing on the main characters. Because at the end of the day, this is not their movie.
Right.
You know, they will be in the movie, yes. They will have a cameo. I don't know how big of a role they will play, but this is the kids' movie.
Sure.
Like that's what the problem is with Ghostbusters. Yeah. Because that's what the problem is with Ghostbusters making a sequel to this in general, is that it's been too long. Like, people keep complaining that they want to see the original cast back, but it's like, do you really want to see old-ass Bill Murray and old-ass Dan Aykroyd and fucking old ass Ernie Hudson? There we go. I couldn't think of his name earlier.
I knew we would.
Like coming back and putting on proton packs and getting in them fucking jumpsuits and shit.
I broke a hip.
Right. You know, it's like, I can believe it more when it's like kids out here running around chasing ghosts. When it's a bunch of grown ass, middle aged, you know, now senior citizens.
They were middle aged when they made the original.
Exactly. So now these old ass motherfuckers, I'm like, I don't know, man.
I think, like you said, it's refreshing.
Yeah, like, go look up a picture of Bill Murray today. Like, don't stop. Get Ghostbusters Bill Murray and Groundhog Day Bill Murray out of your head. This ain't Stripes no more, motherfucker.
You
like,
don't look like that.
Man, these motherfuckers is old as hell now. And I'm like, I don't know if they can still embody the characters the way that they did.
Sure.
Back then.
Well,
like, are they going to have the same
30s
chemistry?
And 40s when it was made.
Right, exactly.
And now we're talking 35 years later. Dudes are like on their deathbed. I mean, Ernie Hudson's doing the damn insurance old people commercials or something.
Exactly.
Like, come on now.
With this though, like, it was interesting because it does feel more like a coming of age story that's a bit more somber than the original movie, because there wasn't a lot of jokes in the trailer. Like, the only outright joke that I know that they did was when there's like the earthquake or whatever, and Finn Wolfhard's character goes, he's like, hey, remember that one summer we died under a table? Like, that was like the one just outright joke. But other than that, like, there's funny moments, like when the seat comes out the side of the car and they're shooting the fucking proton pack at Slimer and shit, and they're driving down the streets. That's funny, but that's not a joke.
Right.
So it's like, there's only one joke in the trailer. So I'm like, is this a comedy? Or like, what are they... That's why I'm waiting to see what the next trailer does, because I think that the trailer maybe isn't necessarily what the tone of the whole movie is going to be.
I mean, that could be. They've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, I think that that this trailer might be a little bit misleading as to what the final product of the movie is going to actually be.
I mean, that could be. Do we have a release date yet, or any?
It just said summer 2020. It didn't give an actual date in the trailer. I know that they're never going to make everyone happy, but I do think that the filmmakers' hearts are in the right place.
Sure.
I think that, you know, it is the son of the original director, so it's like, you know, and the original director is a producer on this, so, you know, and Dan Aykroyd's writing it or co-writing it, so it's not like, you know,
it's not like that 2016 monstrosity where
right, where they're just like, we're just doing our own thing and we just saying fuck everything that came before. So the people who started this and the people who have the most investment in it are working on it, but you can't be such a slave to the original movie that you don't let it be its own thing for a new generation, because it makes sense to have kids in it, because it's like, well, you know, if they're going to make sequels to this, they're going to be growing into the role. So.
Yeah. I mean, The world didn't stop for 30 years, so
yeah.
your favorite actors from the 80s shouldn't just pick up their roles and continue and be like,
Exactly.
I'm back.
Right, I know.
I'm John Rambo.
Right. Or you will be lucky if you get 2 movies out of these motherfuckers, let alone the first one.
Right.
I do think, though, that it was a good idea to put Paul Rudd in this, too, because he'll kind of anchor the movie in, like, today's age, because we have the younger kids who, you know, some of these actors are, you know, already popular from Stranger Things and 8 and shit like that. And then you have an adult actor, comedic actor who is relevant now with the Marvel movies and all this other shit. Because...
And who was also relevant 20 years ago.
Right, exactly. Because it's like, you can't just throw all the OG characters in here with the new kids and be like, we're selling the movie on this. Yeah, the hardcore fans... You know, who want to see the OG cast, they'll be on it, and some new people who like the young actors might be on it. But to get everybody, you have to have something that the general audiences recognize, and I think Paul Rudd's a recognizable enough actor to the average person to where they're like, oh, I like that guy. That's Ant-Man, or he was an Anchorman, or he was in whatever, you know, so... I don't necessarily know what they're doing with his character per se, because he just kind of seems to be like exposition man, because the whole trailer he's just like explaining like, and this is a proton pack and this is a ghost trap, and in 80, you know, and in the 80s, you know, ghosts were there.
The only thing I can think of is he was there in New York,
right? Or at least, you know, he was alive during that time, so he
like,
remembers.
I think that he might have been swept up in the Ghostbusters,
maybe.
Somehow, some way, he's connected to that.
Yeah,
and
because he seems like he's like
he knows a lot.
Yeah, or like a fanboy almost and shit. He's like, "That's a cool replica," and all this shit. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about, man? Like, what?
So it's gonna be interesting to see more of him.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and what they end up doing with him.
I'm kind of excited to see this. I like Ghostbusters. T-Money hates Ghostbusters, but we're going to go see this anyways.
Yeah, no, I like it. I don't love it. I have never understood the rabid passion some people have for it, but I do think it's good. But I don't think it's like the best thing since sliced bread by no means. No.
Oh, no. But I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I've seen both the movies.
I'm like, the Ghostbusters movies are okay. They're pretty good at
I would say they're just fun.
Yeah, but I'm like, the way people act like they put them on a pedestal, and I'm like, they're not even all that. The second movie ain't... They couldn't even
That's my favorite.
I was going to say, they couldn't even outdo the first one themselves. So for people to keep going, oh, well, this will never be as good as it... No, nothing will. They caught lightning in a bottle, and they've never been able to repeat it since. So just give this shit a chance and stop, trying to hold it up to some, unattainable standard.
Right.
All right, moving on.
When there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you are gonna call? Ben Wolfhard.
And finally, to wrap up our Trolanza Part 2 for this week, because
we did have a shit ton of trailers, and I remember I was like, it was late at night, and I'm like, oh, here's the Wonder Woman trailer. And then I saw something else. I'm like, oh, here's the Ghostbusters trailer. And then I sent it to you. And then I was like, here's the Mulan trailer. I sent it to you. I was like, Jesus Christ, we're going to have just nothing but trailers this week.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because there was a couple other things that had happened in pop culture that I was going to talk about, but then it was like you said, No Time to Die came out. And then,
yep, I forgot about that one too. I was like, geez.
Fucking, Mulan and Ghostbusters, and it was just like, Jesus Christ. And then another one came out today for some Ryan Reynolds movie that I didn't even watch it because I was like, I can't figure it out.
I just kind of glazed over it. I was like, yeah, we'll probably...
Yeah, I'm like, that'll be next week. I'm not even going to worry about it right now.
We did have a sad moment this week, though.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We lost the guy that plays Big Bird.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't remember his name.
I'm blanking on his name, but the actor who played Big Bird, Yeah, I was like, this week has been like jam packed. But to round it out, we finally got another trailer for Mulan, and it looks really, really good. Like,
yes, it does.
Even if you don't care nothing about the story or nothing else, just from a visual standpoint, like the way that this is filmed, I love like period piece movies, like anything to do with like samurais or any kind of like old like Eastern culture stuff. I love movies like that, and so like this is right up my alley, and just the way this is shot, it is so.
You almost forget that it's a like a Disney live
Right. Like we're remaking a fucking cartoon movie from the 90s and shit. Yeah, like you forget that it had Eddie Murphy was a talking dragon in this shit. You know, like it almost makes you forget what the source material is because the way it looks so like cinematic and shit. I don't know.
The visuals are great.
Yes. The trailer is really powerful. Like, I think that it did its job well, and I was already like in for this movie from the last trailer that we got.
Yeah.
But now I'm like all in. Like I was like, tearing up a little bit when like the father of the family, he was like, do you have any sons? He was like, no, sir, I was blessed with 2 daughters. He was like, but I will fight. And he like falls down and he can't stand up, but they know he's got to go to war, and he's like getting his sword and armor together. And I was like, oh no. And then she like sneaks off and puts on the armor while they sleep, and she leaves. No, correct me if I'm wrong. She was the only child in the cartoon, wasn't she? She didn't have a sister.
It was never mentioned that she was the only child.
Okay,
but it was never mentioned that she was
that she had a sibling though.
Siblings
okay.
either. I know that she didn't have any brothers.
Like, I didn't think that she had a sister.
No, she definitely didn't have any brothers.
Right? Yeah, because that's why the dad was gonna have to go fight.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it was the mom, Mulan, and the grandma.
Yeah. I don't know. Like
they were trying to like doll her up and.
Yeah, trying to find her
a
suitor.
Yeah. So maybe not
for an arranged marriage. Yeah, and I wonder if it's going to play out the same way in this as it did in the cartoon, where it's like, she set her hair on fire or some shit, and that's why the guy doesn't get, because he thinks that she's crazy and shit.
Yeah,
because she like sabotages the date.
Yeah,
because she doesn't want to be
like
with him, and yeah, because I thought, she burned her hair, and then that's why she ends up chopping it off, and how she tries to pass for a boy going into the military or whatever. Which, that's the one problem I have with this, is that all throughout the trailer, when like she's like in the military, I'm like, she looks too pretty to be a boy. I'm like, she would have never passed for a dude on any level.
Well, I mean,
unless she's just like supposed to be like 14, 15 maybe, or some shit. Maybe they said she's just a really young, dainty looking boy, but I'm like, she looks too much like a woman. So
I just saw a debate about this. It was made into a meme. They had people were talking about in the cartoon how her jawline was like immediately squared and it was ridiculous, and then when she becomes, takes off the disguise, she's got this fair face, and
it's like they drew her different when she was playing a boy,
and
to try and emphasize her masculine features more.
When she's a female, they're gonna give her more makeup, even though you can't see that it's makeup, and it's in the fucking movie poster. Like she has the different jawline, and it's done. A, it's all a cartoon, and B, it's all pre-CGI cartoons, so it's like animated. And then why would she not attempt to look different?
Right. It's like you can get away with stuff like that because of that medium, because like you said, it's animated, so you can draw them to look more like one way or another. I mean, because for example, fucking the Batman animated series. When Batman's not wearing his cowl, when it's just hanging, there is nothing in the eyes. It's just a mask.
Right.
But when he puts the mask on, his eyes go white.
Right.
So it's like, obviously there's no white lenses on the mask, and his eyes, his pupils just don't disappear when he puts it on, but it's just to emphasize the whole scariness of the Batman and all that shit. It's just the artistic choice. So yes, they do shit like that and like make her jawline more masculine and stuff in the cartoon to try and make it more convincing that she's a man.
Right.
In the live action movie, you can't really do that. It's like you said, they can do subtle things like give her more makeup when she's a woman, when she's obviously supposed to be a
they
woman.
can like contour lines and
right,
stuff.
Right, but make it like natural looking makeup.
Right,
so it's like not like obvious. They're not putting fucking, wings on the bitches,
Right.
mascara and shit. But, it's subtle makeup.
Sure. As most makeup should be. But
Right. Or they'll have stuff where like she lets her hair down.
Right.
Where they have that fight scene like in the trailer towards the end where she's fighting with her hair down. It's been so long because I've never seen Mulan the whole way through, and it's been so long since I've seen it. I know. But was the witch in the cartoon the chick that keeps turning into a bird in the trailer?
No.
Okay, because I was like, I don't remember her character, but maybe I just don't remember her.
No, she was not.
Okay. Because I'm like, I know we had the talking dragon and stuff, but I'm like, I don't remember the witch being in it. But...
No, she had a cricket in the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be this lucky cricket.
Mm-hmm.
And Grandma takes it, puts it in a cage that looks like this cricket could hop out of, which the cricket does hop out of. And she's got Mushu and she's got the cricket. So I think what they're trying to do, since there is no Mushu in this, that the chick that keeps switching into a bird is a combination of Mushu and the cricket.
Maybe, probably, yeah. Because I did think it was a cool like effect when like she was turning into the bird and stuff, and they call her a witch, and like she has like when she's in her human form, her makeup still looks like the bird form and stuff. I was like, that was cool. And like the line she says to Mulan where she's like, when they discover who you really are, like, they won't show you any mercy and stuff. And I was like, that was really cool.
I think that it is replacing the Mushu character, because that's kind of what he did. Like he was like, I got to keep you safe, and we gotta, So I think that's kind of where they're going with that.
I really appreciate too, because I think it's an American director. I know it's a woman that's directing this, and I really appreciate the homage to like old like kung fu like styles and movies with like kind of the wire work where she's like jumping across the rooftops and stuff like that. Like, cause I love movies like that, and I grew up on a lot of that stuff. So like to see it in this, I was like, okay, I like that they didn't try to make it too modern with like the fighting and stuff, and like they kept
straight to the time.
Right. Some of like the more like fantastical stuff that you would see in like those old kung fu movies where they're like jumping like 50 feet in the air and spinning around and shit.
That was cool.
Kind of like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and movies like that. The one thing about the trailer though that bothers me is because like there's been like controversy surrounding the main actress who's playing Mulan, because she put out a tweet or something like that, like supporting the Hong Kong police, and like they got protests and shit going on over there, so people are talking about protesting the movie, and they're pissed off at her and all this other kind of stuff. And all that aside, the thing that kind of worries me about it with the actress is in the first trailer and in this one, they show her a lot, but they don't show her speaking a lot of dialogue. Like they let a lot of other characters talk. Like in the very beginning, her father's talking to her about the Phoenix or whatever, and about it being on the Emperor's right hand and all that stuff. Then we get a bunch of dialogue from like the general guy in the military and stuff, and then we hear the witch talking and stuff like that. The only line of dialogue that Mulan has in the entire trailer is the very end where she says, "I am Mulan and I will bring honor to us all." That's the only thing she says in the whole trailer. And I'm like, and her accent's kind of thick, but it's good enough to where it's like I can tell what she's saying.
Sure.
It's not like indecipherable, but
I just hope that they don't have a lot of that.
Yeah, because I'm just worried like she either isn't a very good actress, or that her handle of the English language isn't strong enough to where they feel comfortable putting a lot of stuff of her talking in trailers. Because I'm like, she's the main character. The movie is called Mulan, and she has one line of dialogue in the trailer. I'm like, that's a little bit of cause for concern. I mean, call me crazy.
Just a little bit.
I mean, at least Will Smith is the biggest star in the Aladdin movie, but you saw Aladdin talk throughout the trailer. It wasn't like he just said one thing.
Right.
And that was it. It was like, Even Jafaro, bitch ass, they gave him more dialogue than Mulan had in her own fucking movie. I'm like, man.
Well, let's just hope that it's just, I don't know, to build suspense or
try to make her more mysterious.
Maybe. Let's hope. I would really be concerned if this hits and she doesn't speak a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. And maybe it's nothing to do with her acting skill at all. Maybe it's just because she is controversial right now.
Could be.
And they're like, okay, we're just gonna kind of have the trailer focus on like the supporting characters and just kind of have her be in the background a little bit and then not really put her in the front right now because she's got, heat on her. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, that could be.
But at the same time, it's like, well, you can't hide her. She's the star of the fucking movie. Like, it's like
nope, redo.
She's on every goddamn poster. So shit. So unless you finna put the witch on the posters now, like you can't really avoid that.
Redo.
Right.
Start over.
But yeah, no. This is also coming out next year. I'm really looking forward to it.
Did they give a date for this one?
They may have, but I didn't catch it.
I didn't catch one.
But I am really looking forward to this. I just hope I'm not disappointed. So, fingers crossed, knock on wood. All right. That is it for the show. Remember, you can always find us at our home, onegiantleapforgeeks.libsyn.com. We are also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or anywhere else you get your podcast. So make sure to show us some love, take your little fingers, and go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, give us a rating, review us, and all that shit.
And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, and you'd like to say hi, you can always email us at officialoglfg@gmail.com. You can find us as a show on Twitter at GiantLeap4Geeks. Myself, I am on Twitter at FroggyBeaver. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, maybe. Basically everywhere. All you have to do is search for One Giant Leap for Geeks. All right, you guys have a good night. Bye.